It's perhaps some of the biggest political stories we're following for you, developing right here. A very top member of the Nigerian government, former suspended SGF, Babachir, has been fired by the president himself earlier today, and he's since been replaced. Also, the DG of Nigerian Intelligence Agency has also been fired. Details are coming in, and we've been speaking with the special advisor to the president, Femi Adesina. Let's get some other perspective. Joining us now, a lawyer and our regular analyst, Daniel Buhari, and also here with me is a member of the Civil Society Against Corruption, Mr. Olanrewaju Suraj. Let me begin with you tonight, Mr. Suraj. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. What do you make of this? I know we've discussed this. You've been on this program severally, and we've talked about this situation surrounding the grass-cutting controversy. Now, as it's the way it ended today, what do you make of it?
Actually, the president and this presidency and government lost that opportunity of achieving the greatest mileage that would have been attracted for the fight against corruption, using the sample of Babachir case. Relieving or sacking Babachir at this point in time is considered a distraction from the main issue that is burning in the country.
And what would that be?
The main issue now is the issue of minor, the surreptitious, the call, admission, and reabsorption of minor into the civil service is what Nigerians are asking questions about. And that is what the president needs to answer questions on. It is not going to be possible for us to appreciate these when we are raising a very fundamental and germane issues that borders on territorial integrity of Nigeria, the security of Nigeria, and also the financial implication that is connected with minor case. For us to be treated with this case of Babachir is actually a face saving for the government. It is just a token that is not appreciated, and it is not making any difference to the fight against corruption and the dent that you have on the integrity of Mr. President, and also the fight against corruption in Nigeria.
When government make policy, word over in political science, the people are like Oliver Twist. They ask for more. Is it the case of Oliver Twist from the Nigerian people? I mean, because now the president, a lot of people are asking, sack this man, let him go. We've had a lot of soundbites in that line saying sack him, and now the man has sacked this man.
There's a period to which you can actually value an action or appreciate a gesture. At the time that would have been valued. You remember this report was submitted to the president almost 3 months ago. So what it means, in essence, is the minor case would also probably drag for the next 3 months before a decision is taken by the president. And that will be at the time when there will be another scandal bordering on the integrity of the president and this government.
Mr. Man, now we don't even know where he is right now.
That is where the issue is. So those who harbors, and now it is not the sack of minor that is the issue. It is highly inconsequential. And the president, like it's been proven, does not even have the power to even sack minor. It's supposed to be Federal Civil Service Commission. So the ones that the president have the power to sack, the Minister of Interior fingered here, the Attorney General of the Federation fingered in this, the DGSS fingered in this case, are still roving around, and they have the capacity to also even undermine the investigation and the process of also unraveling what happened with the minors.
Before I quickly go to Mr. Buhari, you're a member of the Anti-Corruption Society. Do you think there is a dent in the anti-corruption war of the Buhari government? Yes,
a major dent, a possibly irreparable dent if care is not taken. And I've said this over and over again. The president is not proven to be fighting corruption. The only agency of government that is fighting corruption is the FCC. And that is why you've seen the ICPC is yet to do anything. The Code of Conduct Bureau is not doing anything. The Special Fraud Unit of the police and the president and the presidency have failed to do anything about that.
That's very critical. Let's go to Mr. Buhari right now, our regular friend on the program here, Mr. Buhari. Give us a sense of the legal implications of all of this. For the man that has been sacked, when people are asking prosecution, where could the case turn right now? Where is the next junction or bus stop?
Right. The decision, thank you for having me. The decision of the president, for example, to approve the recommendation of the committee to sack the former NIA boss and the former SGF is correct. It is also correct that the president did not rush to announce that the EFCC is directed to prosecute them because doing so will mean they are feeding into the narrative that institutions are not developed in the country. It is one strong leader that remote control them. So the president has done the right thing by simply approving their sack pursuant to his power under Section 5. But the relevant agencies of the government, like the EFCC, from this moment onward, is allowed by law to invite these individuals for questioning. And if there is a strong allegation established against them, then they can proceed to prosecute them. However, my word actually to the president will be that at this juncture, especially in the light of the fact that lately we see scandals almost every other day in the government of the Federation, it is necessary for the president at this point to begin to reappraise his cabinet, his advisors, his appointees, so that those ones that are not effective but redundant should be sacked now before it becomes obvious that the sack will not only be on the basis of non-performance or redundancy, but it will be on the allegation of corruption. There can't be a better time than now for the president to really reappraise his cabinet and do what is needful.
So, but simply put, legally speaking, the president did right today, isn't it?
Yeah, legally speaking, the president is within the ambits of the law to have issued the sack of these individuals and not to have gone ahead to say that the EFCC should arrest them. The EFCC,
in the case of Mr. Maina, the president wasn't right legally.
In the case of Maina, you see, if you look at Section 5, people can have a different interpretation. If you look at Section 5, the Constitution is clear on the powers of the president as Chief Executive Officer of the Federation. He exercised that power by himself, or through the vice, or through the ministers of the government of the Federation, or through the leaders of the various agencies of the government. Now, Maina was a boss. He was a committee boss. And when he was reinstated as a director. Within the ambits of the law, the president has the power to sack a director in any of the federal ministries, agencies, or departments.
All right, we must leave it at that. We must thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Buhari. Let me allow you, Mr. Surai, to close this conversation tonight with us. Right. Where do we go from here? Just in about 30 seconds. What do you think the president should be doing? His party, his cabinet. What should they be doing? Especially one agenda: anti-corruption war.
It is to make the anti-corruption fight holistic. It is to ensure there's no sacred cow. All those fingered in one corruption case or the other and scandal in the government must be allowed to go and face the music. It should not be a function of opposition or any other person, but those that are closely related with the president must be used as sample in the fight against corruption.
Mr. Larry Osuoju, it's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you, my brother.
Mr. Daniel Buhari, thank you so much for your time on the program. And that's how far we can go, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. Bye.